Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This is Zakirullah, lecturer, medical laboratory technology, Institute of Biological Science, Sarad University of Science and Information Technology, Peshawar. Today we will be learning about the different practices, what are the care, maintenance, and the troubleshooting during the process of centrifugation. The correct use and care of centrifuge, first of all, as we have discussed in our previous lecture, we have to read the manufacturer instructions. As instructions given by the manufacturer, the company, we have to use correctly the centrifuge as according to their instructions. Place the centrifuge on a hard level bench out of direct sunlight towards the back of the bench. Usually we try to avoid sunlight on any instrument, direct sunlight on any instrument. So also centrifuge is placed in such an area where no direct sunlight is in contact with centrifuge, and also it is placed near to the wall at the back of the bench. And around the centrifuge you leave a clear area almost 30 centimeter, because during centrifugation process it can change or it can disturb the other machines or the other experiments which is in progress. So we have to leave a certain area around the centrifuge so that centrifuge cannot disturb the other processes or experiments which is in progress in the lab. Prepare a stock record card and written standard operating procedure which covers the uses, the cleaning, the maintenance of the centrifuge, or any other issues that is created or any accident that happens in during the usage of the centrifuge. So as we have already discussed in the previous lecture, that we have to prepare a stock record for every instrument and for every procedure, which should have all these things written in that. Also try to use plastic test tubes which is made from polystyrene or autoclavable polymer, usually the copolymer or polypropylene, because these tubes can be reused and they have less chances of breaking as compared to the glass slides or other type of slides which have more chances of breakage during the process of centrifugation. Do not use thin-walled glass tubes or vials which are usually sold as disposable, because they are easily breakable even when we apply a small or a low relative centrifugal force, because these kind of cheap glass, they are very thin in size, and that's why we cannot use we should have no we should not use such kind of glass tubes in the centrifuge. If using a plastic tubes, use round bottom tubes as these are less easily breakable than the conical tube. Yes, round bottom tubes, they are convenient for the centrifuges, and conical tubes they have sharp, and that's why we have to use a round bottom tubes which are convenient with the centrifuges. Before centrifugation, always try to examine tubes and other containers for any types of cracks or any types of damage, as this damage can lead us to a more damage and we can lose our sample which is present in this tube. So always examine any kinds of leaks or any kinds of cracks or damage to the tubes before centrifugation. When using a swing out rotor centrifuge, make sure that the tubes are not too long, otherwise they will be broken when the bucket swinging out to their horizontal position. Yes, during, as we know that the hanging bucket centrifuge at during resting condition, they are horizontal, they are parallel to the motor of the centrifuge. So when we start centrifuge and process our sample in centrifugation, and if you use long handle tubes or if you use long tubes, so these tube may be strike with each other and the samples they contain may be lost, or they can cause aerosols production after breakage, which may be dangerous and can cause any disease to the health worker or a lab technologist which is working with that type of tube. So use a specific type of tubes are the tubes which have short size in the hanging bucket centrifuge. And always keep tubes or containers should not be overfilled when using a fixed angle or rotor head centrifuge, because when we overfill such kind of tubes, then these tubes these solutions can spill over of the tubes, or the tubes may break due to the force exerted during centrifugation. So we have to we have to try that not to overfill or put excess amount of solution in a tube. At least 20 millimeter gap should be present on each tube when we centrifuging a solution in a tube, because this space can give adjustment to the solution during centrifugation, and if there is a solution that moves up or down, so that the solution did not cross the level of the tube, and it it do not destroy our centrifuge or do not infect our centrifuge. Another thing is we have tried to not put any type of cotton wool plug or loose fitting stopper in a test tube, because this stopper or plug, this is forced down into the fluid or solution when we apply a higher force, a higher centrifugation force, or it may also goes down at a low force. So we have tried to not to put any type of cotton plug or loose stopper in a tube. During centrifugation we have to try that do not centrifuge at higher speed or for a time which is unnecessary, because it can disturb our components of the solution, or if we are centrifugating the whole blood, and if we give higher speed or more time than the necessary, then all our blood cells can break and it can destroy or it can damage our sample. So we have to look after these things. The new model of centrifuges, they have very high speed. So if there is a very minute imbalance in the centrifuge, then these centrifuges they are burst, or they can destroy our samples and they can disturb our experiment. So that's why we have to maintain a proper speed and for proper time for every solution in a centrifugation process. If we are using any analog type of centrifuge or any old model of centrifuge, then we have to make sure that the speed control of the centrifuge is set at 0 initially before starting the centrifugation, and always increase the speed slowly step by step. Yes, this is very important, because when we start any analog type of centrifuge and apply a force, we starting from 0 and direct we put a RCF of 4,000, 5,000 or 10,000, then it can create any problems in the motor, and also it can break any the mostly the breakable tubes, or it can also crack our tubes during the process of centrifugation. So we have tried to not make the speed directly from 0 to a higher speed, but we have to increase our speed slowly and step by step. If there is any process or any indication of breakage or imbalance or any sound that comes from the centrifuge, so we have to immediately stop our centrifugation and return the speed control to 0 level during the usage of analog type of centrifuges. Do not attempt to stop the rotor or centrifuge by hand, because it can create aerosols, and such aerosols are dangerous and can have the infectious agents which is present inside the tube, and this can also cause injury to the health our hand, and will also damage the bearings of the centrifuge. Yes, the bearings of the centrifuge, the parts of the centrifuge, that can also be damaged, and also it can damage our hands. Never open the centrifuge until the motor is fully stopped and the rotor has stopped spinning. Otherwise, infectious aerosols may be spread into the laboratory, and it can also spread different type of infections. Always turn off a centrifuge and remove the plug from the socket at the end of each day's work, and when there is electrical storm also. So during electrical storm or at the end of the day, we have to turn off all our machines and to remove the plugs from their socket for safety purposes. Balancing a centrifuge, it is also an important step during the process of centrifugation. Always check out tube holder positions and each bucket, because we have to check that the bucket have contained its cushion or not. During centrifugation, if a bucket is deficient in its cushion, or if a tube holder is not present in its hole, then it can imbalance our centrifuge. And make sure that the contents on each side of the centrifuge are balanced. For example, if we are centrifuging a whole blood sample and it is present in a vial, and the amount of sample is 3 milliliter, so we have to also balance the other side of the centrifuge with the same amount of blood and the same type of sample. And if we have urine in a centrifuge tube for the process of centrifugation, then also we have to put urine on the other side, and if not present, we have to put any water or weak disinfected solution to balance the weights of either any solution we have to centrifuge. So balancing is important step in centrifugation. If we did not put a proper balance in a centrifuge, then some centrifuges they will start alarming, or they will not start its process, because there is a detector inside a centrifuge which is called imbalance detector, and this imbalance detector, these type of detector, they do not allow the centrifuge to start when there is an imbalance, or when the centrifuge starts and the centrifuge detects imbalance, so they stop itself and the process is stopped. This is a picture which shows that how to balance a centrifuge. On our left side, we have an image of a hanging bucket centrifuge in which different samples are shown, that how to balance different samples in a swinging bucket centrifuge. This is a good example. This is a good balance type of centrifuge, and this is a bad practice, and this is unbalanced in this image. And we can see in the right side there is a fixed angle type of centrifuge, and different samples are put in Eppendorf, and then they are shown as balanced and these are shown as imbalanced. So These are the different type of centrifuge with their balancing mechanism. Now what happen if there is a breakage or if there is accident inside a centrifuge? It is usually obvious from the noise that a glass tube or a vial has broken or any accident occur inside the centrifuge. Yes, during centrifugation, usually there is no noise other than the slightly noise of the motor. When there is breakage occur or there is an imbalance, then usually there is a large noise, and we can understand from that noise that something bad has happened. So after breakage or after any accident, these are the steps which we have to follow. First step is switch off the centrifuge, but do not open it immediately. Okay, first switch off the centrifuge and do not open it when it is stopped. Allow at least 30 minutes for the droplets to settle after stopping the centrifugation, because all the solution and all the samples which are present in the centrifuge, they are usually infectious, and we have to treat them as infectious, so we have to give them a time about 30 minutes so that all the aerosols, they are precipitated and they are settled down. Then after wearing PPEs like rubber gloves and our face mask or cover, first decontaminate all the buckets and all the centrifuge and all the debris which is present inside the centrifuge, and then take out all these things and autoclave them or boil them. Use forceps to dispose of the safety glass. Do not touch the glass which is broken in the centrifuge with bare hands, but use gloves. Put gloves on your hands, and then with the help of forceps remove those glass or plastic pieces which are present in the centrifuge. Then after removing all the things, clean the centrifuge rotor, its bowel or the tube holders with suitable disinfectant, so that all the centrifuge is disinfected and all the infectious materials, they are killed. How to maintain a centrifuge? These are the certain points which we have to remain or which we have to learn. These: check the metal parts every 3 months for corrosion damage or cracks. Check all the parts after 3 months for these things. Then clean the centrifuge and tube holders. Try to clean it weekly, or depend on your workload, that how much workload is there in your lab. So if workload is increased, so we have to clean our centrifuge after 2 days, 3 days, or 2 times in a week, or at least 1 time in a week. We should have to clean all these tube holders and inside the parts of the centrifuge. Do not use corrosive cleaning fluids, particularly alkaline solution, because certain parts of the centrifuge, they are sensitive to the corrosive fluids, so they can be damaged. Therefore we should have to look after this solution, that either these solutions are having any alkalis or these are corrosive or not. So we have to take care of these things. If centrifuging corrosive or alkaline samples in metal buckets, we have to make sure that the buckets are rinsed with clear water and they are cleaned regularly. And if the centrifuge is fitted with a brush driver, replace them periodically as instructed by the manufacturer. So these are the different maintenance, care, and the troubleshooting of the centrifuge. Hope you have understand the lecture. Thanks for viewing, and I hope we will discuss in the Google Meet session. Assalamu alaikum. Allah Hafiz.